If you choose easy mode instead, every check will be successful by default, and you won't have to worry about luck playing a factor.
Given that I'd like to focus on the story, I suppose I should pick easy mode.
Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. RNG is the lifeblood of role-playing game, never knowing what you might have to overcome. Ugh.
I'd rather be mentally prepared.
All right, then I'll mark down Farina for easy mode. All her checks will be successful by default. As usual, Navia and Linny will play on authentic mode.
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
Are you sure? Take your time. There's no rush. Are you sure? Take your time. There's no rush. Are you sure?
Trust me, you'll see the beauty of RNG. Honestly, I don't think Clorand would make things too difficult.
No promises.
That wasn't super reassuring.
Well, anyway, enough talk. Let's get started.
Speaking of the story, why is the beginning scene...
Well, that's because a long time ago, back when human civilization was still in its infancy, powerful demons and evil sorcerers ruled over the land. They created a host of monsters. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. With their swords raised, they swore to brave the darkness, and in doing so, subdue each and every monster. Sometime later, as a member of the Marachose Hunters, you receive a commission. Following the address provided on the message, as you inhale, you can taste the slightly salty air of the docks as you begin to survey your surroundings. There aren't many people in the vicinity, but you do take note of a few other. Your eyes meet, and you realize these people are fellow Marachose Hunters.
You're all Marachose hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Navia, monster hunter by trade and helpful neighborhood businesswoman on the side. What say you to traveling together? We can help each other out on the road.
Okay, count me in. My name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way. I was adopted by a Marachose hunter and later...
Is this where you introduce your character to everyone? My name is Farina, and, I grew up in a noble family. I always had a strong interest in performance and the arts, even though I'm a Marachose.
Hey, that's really cool. You can do it, Farina. That's exactly how it...
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and companion to this Marashosei hunter right here.
I've been studying medicine ever since I was a child. I want to do my part to eradicate these monsters and use what I've learned to heal others.
Oh, welcome, welcome. When we face the monsters, I'll make sure to charge in front to give everyone some cover. You can take care of the healing at the back.
You open your envelopes at the same time. The message reads, "To the honorable and trustworthy Marashosei hunters, the lands outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being led astray by..."
The layout of this city looks super familiar. It kinda reminds Paimon of Mondstadt!
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference when coming up...
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of places once traveled. You recall the sight of tree lines, yet, as you regard the city in front of you, it appears to be little more than an empty shell. Its hollow gates are...
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the signatures at the bottom. Who issued this commission to us?
You see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem that many of the residents of the city issued this...
In that case, why don't we take a walk around the city and see if we can learn anything from the...
Oh, good idea. We might be able to get some leads on the monsters and bad guys we're after.
You look up and see a tavern nearby. It appears to be open for the day.
Why don't we go check out that tavern? If the novels I've read are anything to go by, taverns are usually full.
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today, don't you think?
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right. The weather today is...
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information to offer.
Oh, come now, don't be sad. Life is all about
Huh?
I don't think that's the kind of question we're supposed to ask.
Nothing turns a frown upside down like good food. How about some macarons?
You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies.
That's not necessary, miss. Excuse me for saying this, but you don't really look like a chef.
So you're someone who barely smiles and doesn't like sweets. You're really starting to remind me of this one... Hey! Did she just... me?
Clorian must have broke character for a second.
This isn't getting us anywhere. Traveler, maybe you can think of something.
The results of insight checks aren't disclosed to the players, so I'll be the one consulting the phaetometer. You recall all the lessons you've learned in your time, and begin to carefully observe the woman's mannerisms. You notice that when she's quiet, she has an empty look in her eyes, as if her thoughts have drifted to a place far, far away. And when she speaks... so you noticed. That's a little embarrassing. A horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital recently, so all the guards were dispatched to fight them.
Do you remember when those monsters appeared?
I'm not completely sure. All I know is that my husband...
Do you know where he was sent?
It all happened so fast. When we said our goodbyes, he...
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as possible. We sincerely hope your husband will be able to return to...
Oh, thank you.
Don't worry. We'll find him. Just try to remain optimistic and wait. We don't always get to choose what happens to us. But we do get to choose the little things, like what we eat and how we respond to the things life throws our...
I'll do my best. You bid farewell to the woman and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very friendly, merchants are usually a good source of information, right?
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to ask a question if I may.
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
How about this much?
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar? You can't even buy half an onion with...
Surely an onion can't be that expensive.
What do you know? War's nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what it did before. If you're not gonna buy anything, then...
Whoa, what a nasty guy. Maybe we shouldn't even bother talking.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of something? Sir, we came to this city to solve the very problem you seem to be referring to. If you happen to be well informed and know a thing or two about what's going on, we'd appreciate it if you could share that information.
Well, things are basically as you said. Those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been destroying all our We have limited reserves within the city, so if this continues, we're all gonna...
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan?
We could all starve, and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even... Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the
That is concerning.
All right. That's all the information you need, right? Off with...
You know, if you smiled a little more, you'd definitely get more business. And I bet...
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach. Still immersed in his own thoughts, he shakes his head and
This guy seems promising enough. Maybe... Hello, sir. Is there anything I can do?
Wait, you're...
I'm...
Oh, dear goodness! You're a Marashose?
You recognize us? Ah, are you?
Yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come. Oh, what great news!
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be... However, monsters have once again surrounded the city. Perhaps the seal that kept them at bay has lost its power. Or
Are there not enough soldiers to...
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have... Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about how the Marashose hunters drove back the monster. To be perfectly honest, I was starting to think all those stories were...
Well, you can rest easy, friend. The righteous and formidable
The man is touched by your determination and resolve. His eyes begin to well with tears of relief.
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters, we need to know where to find...
All I know is that the area outside the city is dangerous. Oh, although, if you leave the capital through the main gate and follow the road...
I see. We'll go look for them.
All right, be careful. Oh, and one last thing. The monsters outside the city are just part of the problem. There are evil sorcerers inside. They're actively working with the monsters, and have corrupted the court ministers. Even one of our kindest ministers has turned into a boorish and unreasonable figure.